Hi, everyone, and welcome to my coloring corner. This is Renee, and of course, today is Flips and Fun Stuff Friday. And this Friday, we have nothing but fun stuff. So this one is that we're going to take a look at today is the Pagos Art Power, Art Supply colored pencil set. It is a 72-piece colored pencil set. They are very brilliant colors, crack resistant, solid leads, that sort of thing. I'll give you a quick peek at the pencils. They are a nice turquoise pencil with, of course, the color on the end as well as the color numbers. There is no names on these pencils, just the color numbers. We're going to dive into these right after the swatch. So I hope you're ready with your cup of coffee. It is going to be a quick swatch because it is only 72 pencils. So I will, of course, speed that up because it does take a little while to swatch them. So I will be back as soon as I'm done the swatch, and in the video, of course, I will speed up the swatch. So I will be right back. All right. Okay, welcome back. And of course, we've got the swatches down here, and I will go through those with you. I'm going to pop you on over to the other camera here so you can get a better view and turn on the light. So we've got the yellows of creamy yellow here, and then into the brighter yellows, oranges, into the reds down here, into the pinks. We have three really good skin tone colors that will go well with this cream. So doing skin tones with this set will work really well for the white skin tones, as well as some of the darker skin tones. We've got this salmon-y color here for some of the darker skin tones, matched with some of these reds and purples will work really, really well. So we've go from there into the purples, into the blues, some really good blues here too, some great aquatic colors here, into the greens, great set of greens, many different colors of green from dark to light, and different variations of, say, olive green and dark olive green, stuff like that. Then we go into the lighter greens, into the browns, the light sandy tones, into the darker browns. Some of these will work really, really well for the darker skin tones. Into grays and that sort of thing. I don't know why this company likes to put this purple, because they did it with their watercolor set as well. Of course, you can't see what I'm talking about. But for some reason, they put this purple in with the grays and the browns. I'm not quite sure why, but they do. So we've got the browns here. This is a really dark brown. into the grays, into the silvery steel blue color, steel gray, into the dark grays, into the black, and then they also have a metallic gold and silver. And they are a nice looking metallic as well. So that is the swatch of these pencils. Let's take a look at the pencils themselves. Now I have colored them. I'm going to switch over to the other camera so you can get a better view. Turn that off. Oh, let's turn it up. Sure. All right. So I'm going to try to, I don't like the way that they did their trays. They're really hard to get in and out, but the colors are all in color family, which is fantastic. I love that. And they all sharpened very nicely. They have a really good point, and they held that point for a really good long time. I'm going to turn that off because it is too bright. So they do have a really good point, and they held the point for quite some time throughout the entire swatching process. There is a couple of them that I pressed a little too hard on and it broke, but that is not the fault of the pencil. That is my fault. They do have the color on the end, and the color does match pretty closely to the color of the lead. I'm going to switch on over here so you can see better. They do have the numbers on the pencils. So I don't know if you can see that. So that one's number 7, as well as the company name and the company logo. They are a turquoise painted barrel. The wood seems to be quite nice. It doesn't go all chunky. You know, when you sharpen it, cheaper wood, it'll chunk off on you, and this doesn't seem to have done that. And I did have troubles with one, and I can't remember which one it was. They all seem to be fairly centered. There are a couple that are a little off-centered, like this one here is off-centered a little bit, but not enough that it's going to interrupt your coloring. So as you can see there, there's more color on this side and more wood on this side. So that tells me that it's off-centered quite a bit. But it's still a usable pencil. It's not like the lead is all the way up to the tip of the core. So it's easily sharpened down so that you can still use it. All in all, color-wise, it seems to be a really, really nice amount of colors of each family, and just doing the swatch area on coloring book paper, it went down really, really nicely. I'm going to move these out of your way, and I'm going to color something with them. So we're going to take our swatch chart, and we're going to pick some colors to color this beauty. So we're going to start with the background. So I think I'm going to color it number 11 and 24. So let's find number 11. I think this one's number 20. No, that's 25. Okay, so this is number 24, and it's got quite a purple end, but the color swatch shows it to be a dark purple color. So we're going to start with it in our shadow areas. Now this is a really, really, really thick cardstock. So we're going to see how well it works on that really thick type of cardstock. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday, and it's Friday, yay! I'm going to bring you a little closer so that you can see what I'm doing here. Sorry about the movement of the camera. There. It's a little better because it's such a small picture. It makes it difficult to see if you're not closer. Let's give that a bit of light so that I can see. And all I'm doing is I'm just going over the areas that I would expect a shadow to be, like the under the ridge there, down the back side, depending upon where the light's coming from. I'm going to make it coming from the front end here, so fill in a little bit of this area in the back. And since it's not a filled stocking, it's flat. So I'm not going to be too worried about bringing a curvature to it. Just enough that it shows that there is another layer under it. Because we all know that stockings have 2 layers, at least. So I'm just going to bring that in. And I'm just doing the backing right now, the behind the areas of all the pretty flowers on this. Now this is from that little book, the Christmas to Color book that I got, and it's a Christmas postcard. So that's going to be really kind of cool. All right. And I'm telling you, I don't think anyone wants me to film today because my phone has been going off. My house phone has been going off. My doorbell has been going off. You know, my dog has been going off because the doorbell's going off. You know, so I don't think anybody wants me to film today. I'm surprised the kids haven't come out here yelling, "Mom." All right. But I do film every day, so I'm bound to get interrupted sometime, right? All right, so we're going to go with number 11, which is this one, which is a red. And I'm going to go over top of the color that I've already put down because that's my shadow color. I'm going to try to make sure that I get as close into all of the crevices as possible. So that we can get the background all done at least. I chose this because it's quite a small project, but with it being so many details, I'm second guessing myself here. I should have chosen something a little bit less intricate. But what I'll do is I'll try to get some of it done, at least around one of the flowers here, so that we can show the different colors of the flowers as well. I don't want to keep you here all day watching me color this with my new pencils because, you know, that's boring. But they do lay down quite nicely. And like I said, this is a really, really heavy cardstock. And they're not, they're layering on top of each other quite nicely, so, which is really good. Now I am doing a layering technique. I'm not putting all my weight on it. I'm not trying to get as much color out of the pencil all at once as I want. I am going over and over and over again until I get the color that I want. if I do press down too hard, especially on this heavy cardstock, I'm not going to have any tooth to do any other layers. So if I wanted to put a different color on top, I wouldn't have the ability to do that if I pushed down too hard on this. Like I said, it is a very heavy cardstock, and a lot of these really, really heavy cardstocks are a lot more difficult to use when you don't know the pencils very well. And these pencils, like I said, are new to me, of course, because I'm reviewing them. But they do seem to be layering the way I want them to, which is really good. I'm not getting a lot of drag and dig into the cardstock. It is seeming to go gently over top of the cardstock, which is good as well. And the color seems to be quite nice. I may have chosen the wrong red for this, but that is not a fault of the pencils. That is a fault of me. Can't fault the pencils for my color choices. And like I said, I'm not going to do the entire thing because it will take a very long time because of all these fiddly bits. But I will go through and at least finish up the top part here and color a couple of these flowers to show you the different colors that are available in the set, as well as, you know, the greens and that sort of thing. Now, everybody knows that tomorrow is the Color and Chat Saturday. So we are going to be doing a picture out of Joanna's Christmas by Joanna Basford. So I hope you're all excited about that. I am. I like Joanna's stuff. I just find it so intricate though, and so time consuming. And lately I can't really do time consuming for some reason because I have so many things going on. I have so many different projects that I want to do and not enough time in the day to do them. So if anybody has you know, an extra, you know, 2 or 3 hours in your day that you can donate, don't hesitate to give me a call. I would take them off your hands. If I can make days 36 hours long, I think that would probably do me some good. All right. Okay, so I've got this top part done, and I'm going to color those little flowers there, which are a thistle type of flower. Looks like a thistle bulb with this after the flower has gone and the seed is still there. So that's what I'm going to color it as. If I can find the right gray, green-gray color. All right, so let's take a look at our swatch sheet here. And we're going to use number 44, 46, and 43, I think. There's number 43. Excuse me. Darn hiccups are deciding that they want to show up. So we've got number 44, 43. Oh, I really don't like this tray. and 46. For some reason, my fingers aren't working today to get everything out of the tray. So we've got 43, 44, and 46. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the 44, which is a nice olivey green color. And we're just going to fill in those areas there. Just enough that when I go over it with the medium green and the light green, those will show as darker. I'm going to do the same up here. And then we'll take this darker green. Well, I guess I should say medium green because it's not as dark as the olive green. And then we're going to take this light green and go over the entire works and blend it all together. Now, typically I would blend with a blending pencil. However, this is such a small area, it's really not necessary. I'm going to take a little bit of blue as well, this greeny blue color here. Just to give that a little bit more depth down there. All right. I know you guys can't see that very well. Let's see if I can get any closer for you. Now I'm going to have to fix it so that I am not so out of focus there. I'm always fiddling with these things on you, aren't I? But what it does do is it gives me the ability to get up and close. There we go. There, that gives a little bit better of show of what I'm doing. Now I'm just going to take that light green again and blend it together. Now these are a little bit dustier than some pencils. So of course make sure that you have your brush handy. Otherwise you're going to be wiping it off with your hand and then it will make a mess. All right, so I'm going to take that green. I'm going to go down the stem. Same with this stem. And this little leaf here. And then we're going to take that dark green again, darker green, and we're going to fill in this one. Take the blue green, give it a little bit more oomph, and then take that light green and blend it all together. There we go. And dust it off. And then we'll move on to the leaves. So the leaves, I'm going to take the darker green And I'm just going to follow the leaf pattern. Littler leaves are going to fill in a little bit easier. I'm going to take that blue-green and I'm going to go down the center. Now, this is, like I said, on a very heavy cardstock. So if you press too hard, you're going to dig your pencil in. And you may end up losing the ability to layer. However, if you're at the end of your coloring like I am at this point, you can push down a little bit harder and just blend that all together and burnish it. But as soon as you burnish it, you're not going to get any more color on there. So make sure that you've got all the color on there that you want to have on there. And there are the main parts of that thistle done. Now for the upper part, I need a bit of yellow. And a little bit of purpley color. And there we go. All right, so let's move on to this one here. So I'm just going to go through this area with the purple. Now these, I don't know if it's the colors I'm showing or the fact that this is a heavy cardstock, but they're not showing as vibrantly on the cardstock as they did on the coloring book paper. So this seems to be possible that these are one of those pencils that works on cardstock, but works much better just on coloring book paper, which as a colorist of coloring books is really nice as well, because sometimes the more expensive pencils don't seem to work as well on the coloring book paper. It all depends upon the paper the artist chooses to have their books published with. And sometimes that paper can be a little bit more difficult to work with. And of course, there's little teeny little details, and I can barely see them. So I apologize if this looks really messy. I think that's why I don't like mandalas very much, because I can't see what I'm doing half the time, and that bugs me. Like, for instance, I just colored a part of this that I didn't want to color instead of the part that I wanted to color, which is fine. I have an eraser, but it still annoys me because I can't see what I'm doing. That is a big old mess. So let's see how well the eraser works on it. This is a good way to test the pencils for eraser ability, is just let me color it for a little while. Normally I'm not so bad, but for today, for some reason today my eyes are not liking what I'm doing. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to sharpen this pencil a little bit because I've dulled it down a little. Let's see if I can actually stay in the lines this time. And hopefully my pencil sharpener will my pencil sharpener is being a butt. There we go. My pencil sharpener was saying, no, I don't want to work today. I worked yesterday and the day before and the day before that. I don't want to work today. I think it went on vacation without me. Which is fine because COVID is everywhere. Found out that my next door neighbor is actually infected right now. Hopefully she'll be all right. But it does hit close to home when it's somebody, you know, that is that close. You know, she's right next door. But as you all know, I'm terrified of catching it, so I stay very, very close to home at all times. I don't like going out. I only go out when I have to. Otherwise, I don't go out because I really don't need to catch that. And it just seems to everywhere you turn, every time you turn on the news, every time you turn, you know, go on to Facebook, somebody else you know is been infected, which is scary to me because it's a scary disease. I just wish people would just stay home, let it die off. The virus, not all the people. Although some days. Okay, so I'm going to go around these with gold. We'll see how the gold does. And the gold doesn't seem to do too badly on this cardstock. I think my eyes have just given up today because I am not being able to stay in the lines at all. That, and it's very, 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 very tiny details. So the only thing I don't like about doing really, really tiny details is sometimes I just can't see them well enough to actually color them in properly. And I just make a big mess of them. All right. And I completely missed all the way around that flower petal with the red. So I'll have to go back around that. Or I'll make it a feature and go around it with silver. That'll give us what it looks like with the silver. And for some reason my dog is snorting. I hope you all can't hear that. She has moved onto the couch and is snorting right next to me here. Okay. Well, I hope you all watched yesterday's Thankful Thursday episode, because it gave you all of the different prizes that are going to be available to be won on our Christmas bash. And of course, if you haven't watched it, I would suggest watching it. And of course, if you have rung your bell, you would have gotten a notification yesterday of a upload. Well, not an upload, of a live session coming up for the Christmas bash on the 13th. And I know it's a while out, and the reason why I uploaded it so early, well, not uploaded, I put up the notification of it so early is because in that notification, there is a fair bit of information that does need to be looked at and read and followed in order to be eligible for the grand prize. So make sure that if you have not already seen that you take a look for it. It should be in the upcoming live area of the main part of my YouTube page. Also, if you are in our Facebook group, I have put it in the announcements as well there. So you should have plenty of time between now and the party to fulfill those requirements, so that you can be eligible for that grand prize. It's not a difficult thing, I promise. I don't try to make anything too difficult, because if it's difficult on you, it's difficult on me. So there is our metallics, and they did pretty good, as well as a purple. So I'm just going to try to get as many of the colors as I can shown here on this flower. So here's a yellow. Without taking up your entire day to watch. Now, I do know that I'm doing this very, very messily. And like I said, the details in this are so tiny. I know I've blown it up for you quite a bit. I've zoomed right into it for you so you can see a little bit better. Actually, you guys can see a lot better than I can, so. Unfortunately, I can't watch the monitor and color at the same time. That would make coloring so much easier. If I can blow it up into a huge thing and still color it in properly without making a terrible, terrible mess of it. But I can't. I have tried that before. I just make a big old mess. Okay, so then we're going to take the orange. We're going to make this area look like a bit of a sunset, I think, or candle. I guess it's candle wicks, flames. And like I said, these do have numbers on them. They don't have names. They do seem to be quite pigmented. Like I said, I'm using them on this really heavy cardstock, and they're doing pretty good with it. Most times when you try to color on cardstock with a lesser expensive pencil, it can seem like you're not coloring at all. It just glides right off the paper. So this does grab hold of the tooth and hold onto the paper, which is good. But I do apologize. I know that this is probably extremely messy. I do know how to color. I do. I wish my eyes would believe me today. My eyesight's saying, nope, nope, you don't. Okay, so there we've got some oranges, some yellows, some reds, some deeper oranges. Now we'll get into some of the pinks. Let's do a hot pink. Now this looks more red than it does pink. What number is that? Number 15. Yeah, that's more of an orangey red. So it was at the end of the reds, or not quite into the pinks yet. Now the tip of this looks like a hot pink, but I guess it's pretty close to the actual color. Yeah, okay. It's actually really close to the actual color that's laying down, so it's not as hot pink as I thought it would be. So let's grab this one. And go through here. Yeah, see, that's what I was expecting it to be. And like I said before, it's not stuttering, it's not scratching, it's not hesitating. It's actually flowing quite nicely over this cardstock. And the problems that you may see at this point are 100% my ability to color on these little tiny areas. Has not a lot to do with the pencils. They are covering very nicely. Any white spot you see is just because I haven't colored over it. Not that the pencil didn't grab it. So all in all, between the pencils and the paint set that this company has sent me, both of them have really, really, really nice pigmentation. I have chosen extremely the wrong picture to be showing this on because, I don't know how to choose things obviously today. I think I should have just stayed in bed today, maybe. Is what I'm thinking I should have maybe done. Let's see. Let's put a little bit of light purple. Oh, there's that train again. And I know these colors are not ones that you would normally find in a color combination, but I just wanted to show you the different pigmentations of each color family. All right. And then we'll take a little bit of turquoisey blue. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of those flowers. I don't know why the train is even extremely loud today. Everything just seems very, very loud today. I don't know why. And it's even very, very wobbly. Do apologize. It doesn't usually shake my house like it is. I don't know why it's so bad today. Because I can see. Oh, that didn't sound good. It must be a very, very heavy train for it to have done that. Usually it's when it makes a noise like that, it's because it's extremely heavy. There's a little bit of a bump there. So it must have been a very heavy train. The cargo trains go by here, as well as the passenger trains. And those cargo trains, they pile them up pretty high sometimes. They get them pretty full. All right. Not my best work, but what color, what color? What color to use next? I think we're going to go with a light bluey color. All right. So we've tested out the reds, we've tested out the purples, the yellows, some blues, the gold and the silver, as well as some of the greens. And so far, all of the different color families seem to be laying down quite nicely. They seem to blend very well together, which is great. The only issues that you may be seeing are completely my own because of the size of this picture is very, very tiny. All right, so I want to do the center of that a nice yellow, pale yellow maybe. Not a bright yellow, but a pale yellow. And then we will do this dark purple that I don't know what is at the end there, but it is. It's a nice purple though. It's a very nice purple. And then we'll take our green. And we'll finish it off here. And this one. Just going to go around these leaves and I'll finish up these leaves and then we'll take a look at the different colors and what they were able to lay down, even with my lack of ability to see what I'm doing. I just chose the very wrong picture for y'all, that's all. It is completely my fault. All right, let's take that light green again and we'll fill it in. Give it a bit of oompy stuff. Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is what we have done so far. So we've tested some greens here and they turned out quite nicely. Did a little bit more green here on this one. The golds are quite metallic, so is the silver, which is really good. And it's a medium kind of gold. I would definitely put a yellow under it if I was using it for a gold color. The purples are quite nice. The light, medium, and dark purples all seem to do well. The yellows are very bright. And the oranges are very bright as well. So, and the blues are quite nice as well. Now on the camera, it's showing this as a darker blue here. And to me, it's a turquoisey, almost seafoam blue, sea ocean blue area. The reds went down quite nicely and blended into that purple all right. Let's see if I grab a blender pencil. That is chalk. That will not do. And my blender pencil is a little bit dull, but let's see what it'll do. Now I am using the Prisma blender, which is a wax-based blender, because I do believe these are a wax-based pencil. Now when I did open these, there was a bit of an odor, so give them a bit of time to air out. I think it's the paint on the shaft of the pencil. I don't think it has anything to do with the cores. I think it's more to do with the shaft being painted. But it seems to blend quite nicely. Like I said, normally you don't need to blend on these little tiny areas, because once you go over that with your light color, it should blend it. I'm just trying to see how well this blender pencil works on these pencils. And it works pretty well. I'm just going to dust that off, get that all dusted. So it works pretty good with the blender pencil. The colors went down quite nicely. They blended together quite nicely. It has got a wonderful range of colors in each color family, from light to dark, which is fantastic. If you're going to buy a smaller set such as this, make sure that your color ranges are there, that you're not ending up with more of one color and not enough of another. They are numbered, as you can see there. That one's number 43. And unfortunately, they are not named, but it's not a huge deal breaker for me. As long as they're numbered, it gives me an ability to put them back where I found them, or in some semblance of order. They do come pre-assembled or pre-packaged in their color families, which is to me absolutely fantastic. There are some pencils that you have to rearrange into their families, and their numbers don't match, and that kind of drives me crazy. You know, if you have numbers on it from say 1 to 120, try to have your color families set up so that you can put number 1 through 120 in the color families. It's a huge pet peeve of mine, but it's not a deal breaker all in all. Like I said, as long as there's names and numbers on the pencils, it does give me the ability to know where to look for them in a set. Mostly if I do find that the color families and the numbers don't match up, I will rely heavily on my swatch sheet. All right, guys. Well, I do thank you all very much for watching. I do hope to see you tomorrow in the Saturday color along. We will be, like I said, coloring in Joanna Basford's Joanna's Christmas. I'm going to switch you over to the big camera here so that you can see what I'm doing. This is the page that we're going to be coloring out of Joanna's Christmas. So that should be fun. This is what we've gotten so far. Like I said, it is a very small detailed area. Like that's the pencil's wider or the eraser is wider, and this is a fairly small eraser. It only takes up half my finger. And I have children's hands. So that tells you how small that area is. And for a person that is going blind, that's really tiny to me. But I did it. I managed it. And you guys got to see the pencils go down on paper, which is all I wanted. I wanted to be able to show you guys what it looks like for those pencils to hit paper. And they do blend very well. They cover very nicely. And I do apologize for choosing something so detailed and so small. The white spot on there is 100% my fault, not the fault of the pencils. All in all, I would definitely recommend this set of pencils for Christmas gifts, for birthday gifts, for anybody starting out coloring, or even somebody that's been coloring a long time and a connoisseur of pencils, such as myself. With that, I thank you all very much for joining me. Of course, if you want to join me over on Facebook, you can do so. It is the My Coloring Corner Facebook group, and the link is on my banner on the main page of my YouTube channel, as well as in the description. So if you want to go over and apply to the Facebook group, okay, tongue work now. If you want to apply to the Facebook group, please do make sure that you fill out that application form in full. As I have said before in other groups that I have been in, we will not accept your application if those questions are not answered. Those questions are there specifically to ensure safety and security, no drama, and whatnot for our members who have already filled out that application and joined our Facebook group. Again, come visit me tomorrow. It is the Saturday Color and Chat at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. So that is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time and 12 o'clock in the afternoon Central. So if you want to join me, I would be happy to see you, and I absolutely love everybody that comes to play with me on Saturday. Of course, last but not least, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative and helpful, of course, hit the like button. If you have any information that I have not already given you, or any questions about the information I have given you, or just to tell me great job, make sure you leave me a comment. I love reading all of your comments and respond as quickly as I possibly can to them. If you are not already a subscriber to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I do post at least one video every day. Sometimes on Fridays I do 2 or 3, depending upon how many fun things I get. The only other day that I don't post is on Sunday, and that is going to be changing in the near future. Here on the channel, I intend on adding some special things on one Sunday a month. And I think that's all the information I needed to give you this week. I thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, a wonderful weekend, and of course, I hope to see you tomorrow. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Bye-bye for now, guys.